You are about to see mutilated corpses, burning tank carcasses, and all out mayhem, brought to you by Frontline Fatalities.
Sup, COH fans, and welcome to episode 78 of Frontline Fatalities, brought to you by the Frontline Network, presented by me, FatalSaint, and my good friend Tommy. What's up, Tommy?
What's up, FatalSaint? We're back in the casting chair after being away for a little while. We had the closed beta, which we casted a lot of. We casted 12 games, plus our State of the Game split screen as well. So we got a lot of footage out of the closed beta. It was very interesting. But we are now back to the fields of Normandy for some VCO.
Yep, good old VCO factions going on up against each other. We do have Wehrmacht versus Americans, and it's actually on a map that we have, I do believe, never, ever casted before. Which map is that, Tommy?
It is the one and only, probably ought not to call it Lowlands. It's Bow Lowlands. It's actually a map. Not only have I not casted it before at all, I don't think, I've probably only played it about half a dozen times ever, so it's not a map that I really have a lot of knowledge on. But apparently it was a good game, and the players are good as well. We have Guderian on the Allied side, and who do we have on the Axis?
We actually have an unknown player on the Axis side playing the Wehrmacht here. He's called BKModTest, but as this is the 2.7 version of Company of Heroes, aka the Steam version, the new Steam version, when they closed down their old servers, they moved everything over to Steam. So it's kind of hard keeping track of people because it's so easy just to change your name in Steam. Just change your name over and over again. It's not. I'm not even sure if this is better when it comes to smurfing than the old game where you had 5 profiles and you could just delete them over and over again. Here you can just, with 3 mouse clicks, you can change your name to whatever the hell you want. It's just so easy.
Well, I think in one way it's better because it means that your stats are always tied to your account and you can't wipe your account.
Yeah,
but on the
true.
other hand, you can literally call yourself whatever you want. So
Yeah.
it's obviously there's plenty of room for all kinds of shenanigans, which you can rest assured are already being the limits of which are already being probed just a few weeks after release. But anyway, we are here with a game between two mild-mannered players, and I think we should jump right into it.
Yep, at the 5-second mark, start on pause in 3, 2, 1, on pause. 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. And, even though you haven't played this much, I'm seeing something, mildly different to usual. The Wehrmacht player starting with a 3 Pio opening. So, it's straight off the bat something at least a little bit different.
I think from what little I've heard other people saying about this map, and from what little I've played it, it does tend to favour multiple engineer, multiple pioneer starts. Because obviously, if you look at the way that the map is set out, we've got these corner medium munitions and these corner high munitions. A very munitions intensive map, very fuel intensive as well. It's just a lot of resources in general, and a four engineer opening from allies, which is not what we've seen. We've seen a more conventional 2 engineer, which I know Guderian has stuck by in virtually all his games for the last sort of couple of years, standing by the old 2 engineer opening. But you can see sort of 4 engineers, you can cap the map very quickly, and the points that you cap are very important because, as I said, you've got all those munitions and all that fuel.
Yeah, you want to get the corner stuff that's furthest away from your enemy because they will most likely be at least somewhat safe during the game. So if you can cap them nice and early in the beginning with the multiple pioneers or engineer opening, I bet then you can, start upgrading them with flamethrowers if you're playing as Americans, for example, especially if you're playing as Americans. Obviously, flamer pios are... They're coming back a little bit. I've actually been viewing some streams from people like Symbiosis and some other high-level players that tend to give that extra boost to their tier 1 Wehrmacht army by putting a flamer on their pios.
Yeah,
it happens
something
now
that
and
we
then.
saw.
And DevM does it too, I think.
DevM does it a lot. Different players and different styles use it a lot. If you watch Aimstrong's Wehrmacht, he almost never gets a flamer. I saw him get a flamer once and it nearly gave me a heart attack. He almost never gets it because his priority is mines, because he's going for that small tier 1. If you're going for a bigger tier 1, the flamer can really help to amplify the force of that, because if you're going for a big tier 1, you're going to be playing more aggressively anyway. But you've also got the flamer as being quite a good way to make up for any losses in a small tier 1. For example, if you lose an early unit, or if you go back and look at our last VCO episode, which was Sandland versus Silence. Sandland, he was lacking an extra tier 1 unit because he got an FHQ instead, so he got a flamer and made up for his losses like that.
We do have a flanking attempt coming in now from Guderian on this MG. It was MG first for the Wehrmacht player with a Schwimmwagen follow-up, so he's going to come out now as well and hopefully might be able to push this rifle around, but he doesn't get the flank off, but he doesn't get suppressed by that bird that actually kills one rifle, 2 rifles. And here comes the other rifleman squad that decapped the munitions point now, actually attempting to flank again, but the Schwimmwagen will go in for the push once more. But Guderian is not retreating his rifles, which is actually good, and he might be able to polish off the MG crew with so low health. He should be able to get this, even though there is Pyos coming in to help now. That MG goes down, and the rifles are forced to retreat at extremely low healths. Both of them, one down to one man with basically just a pixel of health left, and the Schwimmwagen is in hot pursuit of that rifle squad. He did try to focus fire him down, but the retreat modifier saving that last rifleman's life.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think that was really a great engagement there for Guderian because
cost him a lot of manpower.
He lost a lot of manpower, and in essence, all the Wehrmacht player lost is 3 Volk members, because he'll be building a Volk now, and that's what's coming out, and he'll recrew that and then go back, and it'll just cost him 3 Volk members. Not very much at all. It would only be worth it if Guderian could now steal the MG, but I don't think he wants to go out there. Although he's going to see it.
There's a mine plant MG, and I do believe that the Wehrmacht player deliberately is not recrewing with his first Volt squad. He went MG, Schwimm, Volt, Volt is building now, and that mine goes off, but the rifles are still at 5 men. They are quite low health, however, so if he does decide to recrew it, it could be extremely dangerous.
He's got to get out of there now. He's
3 men, 2 men.
Losing a lot of manpower. If that Volt now goes to grab that, because they need to grab that, because
bleeding quite a lot of manpower.
Well, those rifles are back in the field very quickly. We got 2 rifles once again coming out, and the second Volk is only just about on the field, so that MG needs to be recrewed and turned as well.
Nice flamer attack from Guderian on the left-hand side of the map here. There are 2 Pyos. One of them were attempting to actually repair that Schwimmwagen because he's extremely low health right now, but he is not retreating. He just went out of the range from the flamethrower there, and the Pyos are actually outbeating that flamer engineer combined with the Schwimmwagen. So that was like he could potentially have lost that now. But the MG is recruited with the Volt squad, and there are rifles engaging again, but they're actually both forced to retreat again. So Guderian losing quite a lot of men in these attacks, and he's not really gaining anything from it because he can't really afford to stick around after the engagements to decap territories or stealing them for himself. So, territory-wise, the Wehrmacht player is he's just like, I'm okay with this. I got the territory that I need. I have the fuel that I need, and he's now starting to upgrade to tier 2. So even if you go for that fast M8, I will most likely have my tier 2 building up in time and with a potential counter to that vehicle in that case.
Guderian actually lost a whole rifle there a minute ago. As he was beginning his grenade tech, and he actually finished that grenade tech, so he does now have grenades. He lost a rifle, which is now being forced to rebuild. So that puts him in a very, very nasty position with now the Wehrmacht player really pushing in on this left-hand side. MG placed very aggressively up here on the left, and the Volks even managed to decap that medium fuel, so the medium munitions. So doing a very good job here, this Wehrmacht player. He doesn't have a whole lot of territory. He's keeping mainly to his own side here on the left, but doing a good job also of decapping there on the right.
Yeah, some ninja capping in the top right-hand corner of the map from the Wehrmacht player. He just sent 1 lone Py over there, and with a 3 Pioneer opening, he could easily afford sending one of them over there just to harass territory from Guderian, so on his side of the river, so to speak, because it is split by this river traveling through the entirety of the map. from one side to the other. But you know, I really like the harassment, especially from those Pyos with a multiple builder opening, a Pyo opening with the 3 Pyos. Just sending 1 Pyo over there, you know, you can easily afford it, and it gets extremely annoying if your opponent hasn't done the same thing, which is a multiple engineer opening, because then he most likely has to send one of his 2 engineers or even maybe a rifle over there just to handle that lone Pyo squad.
All this talking of VCO tactics and strategies makes me really wish that at some point, even if it's not there in retail, that CO2 reaches that kind of level of depth.
Don't go there, man.
Yeah, I know.
Schwingwagen is fully repaired up again. We do have a rifle on the far left-hand side, on the other side of the river, on Guderian side of the river, and you know, with a Schwim and a Volk at the same time, the secondary Volk squad decapping that munitions on the little island in the river there. He's getting quite boxed in. He's trying to do flanks now, Guderian. Hits a mine on the road in the center of the map, at the same time coming in with a 2-pronged attack against the MG that was recruited by Volks, but it is very fastly microed away. But one of the Volk squads is sent packing, and the MG is sent packing as well due to the threat of the Flamer engineer from Guderian. So Guderian finally trying to break through now, and he's actually forcing off quite a few units now, and this Volk squad and the Schwim is kind of caught between a rock and a hard place, because now he's got a Flamer coming in, a rifle from the other side of the river closing the distance, at the same time another rifle squad as well. Nice MP40 pop, however, on the Volk squad. That might give them a little bit more of a staying power.
Oh, wow!
Oh, wow! Nice crit!
Guderian was too slow on the uptake there. He didn't notice those old Vulcan MP40s, or if he did, he didn't anticipate them, the Flamers going down quite as fast as they did. Valiant player still in a good position, you know, having now killed off 2 whole units, including a rather expensive Flamer. And actually, I watched as that flank came in. One of the rifles, which could have possibly tipped the tide there and given Guderian dominance, was actually shut down by a very nicely placed mine. You can see the crater there, right in the center, in between a cluster of trees. So far, very, very good flank defense from our Wehrmacht player. Lots of mines as well going down from Guderian. He's trying to guard his territory on the right-hand side, because I imagine he is keenly aware at this point that if he continues to lose manpower at such an alarmingly high rate, eventually the Wehrmacht player is going to begin to expand into the right.
Yeah, he's actually trying to do that same thing right now. He's sending one of the 2 Volk squads over to the right-hand side. The Volk squad that is not upgraded with MP40s. The MP40 squad is still in the field, actually. He was sent back to base to reinforce from 3 men up to 5 again. Just hanging around in the Wehrmacht base. Pyo is forced off from the center VP by a rifleman squad, but he did get the cap, and does drain just a few VPs off of Guderian. But right now, Guderian is actually ahead with 491 VPs compared to 456 from the Wehrmacht player. Here comes the Schwingwagen again. And a sniper now as well.
Yeah, well, that's a good reaction replay actually from the Wehrmacht player, because he saw... Has he seen any grenades?
I don't think he's thrown a single grenade yet.
He hasn't thrown any grenades. I mean, it's either a very good... It's got to be a very good reading of the tech, because, you know, getting that sniper is perfect really for his situation. The sniper forces, I mean, Guderian's technology, his grenade tech, forces him to get into close range to do real damage and to make use of that investment. But he's going to be taking damage from a sniper all the way in, and actually playing very ballsy with that sniper, because he knows he has mine coverage right there. 2 very nicely placed mines from the Wehrmacht player, going to prevent that sniper from getting rushed there. So yeah, Guderian continues to sort of flounder around a bit sort of headless chicken style. He's gone for a triage and a supply yard now. He has the fuel for a multiple, but chose to send out his engineers instead. So either he's going to wait to put up a TD, or he's just going to wait to see what his opponent does.
Yeah, maybe he is waiting for the Wehrmacht player to show his hand first before deciding on what to build or what to tech to. So, you know, as he's seen a sniper now, the tier 1 has become a little bit larger.
Oh, there's the first grenade, and it's on a Volks Grenadier squad here. Very nice. Took down 3 Volks and gave a squad vet 1 with now 8 infantry kills. Very nice, and he could even get the Schwimmwagen. Now there's an MG, but it's walking right into the jaws of death here. That's not good. He's almost certainly going to lose his Schwimmwagen though, so finally a break for Guderian, taking down a couple of Volks, getting a bit of veterancy, and killing a Schwimmwagen.
Yeah, that was a nice engagement for Guderian, finally. He really needed one of those engagements, because he has been bleeding quite a lot of manpower, and I do believe he actually polished off the Sweeper Pyo.
What an whoa my god! Check out that mine. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 rifles go down to a single mine. Very nicely placed from the Wehrmacht player. He's done a really good job with these mines, and Guderian actually lost yet another engineer up here in the north. So Guderian, even though he got those little breaks, he quickly qualified them with a few losses of his own. So he's back down to just 3 rifles and a single engineer, and no tech besides the supply yard and triage, although he is building another engineer to replace his lost one. So I assume he is going to start construction of something. I don't know what he really needs, but I imagine he's actually going for the motor pool.
Oh, yeah, there it is.
Which is now, I don't know about that choice, honestly. I would have probably gone for the tank depot because he had the fuel for it, and he had the fuel. He would have, by the time that he sort of put it down, he would have only had to wait a little bit before he could start building a Sherman.
But that Pio is so dead. No, he actually managed to survive. Only 1 casualty from the mine on a little island on the right-hand side. It was a nicely placed mine, and the engineers retreated from Guderian and baited those Pios into that mine. But they actually managed to survive. I thought they were so dead, but they were quite spread out. One guy was actually in the river, and one guy went up onto the island and detonated the mine. We do have tier 2 up, and the Wehrmacht player was actually floating quite a lot of manpower, up to almost 900 at one point before that tier 2 building going up. But he has actually just teched to battle phase, so tier 4 is teched, not built yet, but he does have the fuel to actually put the building up right now. And, you know, manpower-wise, he's doing very good. He's been causing quite a lot of manpower, but not really taking much of a manpower loss, apart from losing that Schwimmwagen, really.
Yeah, I mean, he's taken some attritional losses, but no real full squads besides that Schwimmwagen. And did you say that he lost a sweeper?
I do believe he lost the sweeper, Pio. I cannot see it anymore. No, there it is. There's either it's a new sweeper he upgraded, but he only has 2 Pio still alive, and I know for sure that he went for a 3 Pio opening. So one of them is dead. If it was a sweeper one or not, I'm not exactly sure, but I do believe he just upgraded a new sweeper on one of his remaining Pios.
We had a very nice grenade up here in the middle, thrown in anticipation of a Vulcan B40 squad running right into it, and actually allowed that rifle squad to beat out the Vulcan B40s and sent them packing. We have some artillery now. Infantry doctrine chosen by Guderian. He's put it down on the MG42, but the MG42 doesn't notice. It's not being packed up here, and he loses 2 men instantly to the first shell.
Oh, getting lucky with his second, though. That could have been spot on, too. And he's just hanging around.
Whoa.
There it goes. Finally,
disintegrated.
that MG.
Limbs
it's still intact.
everywhere.
Very low health, and it actually gets destroyed by the off-map artillery shoot. So it's not recruitable, not stealable from Guderian, but at least he got rid of it.
He did indeed get rid of it. That's always a worthwhile investment. That could have been a real disaster there. That was a big stockpile of munitions that he just used up there. But if you can actually get the MG kill and the MG destruction or stolen, that's a very nice win and easily justifies the cost.
We do have one.
Oh, that's
MG
another nice
remaining,
grenade,
though.
but it's just a little bit too far behind the Volk squad. It could have been placed so nicely right in the negative cover of the lake. Done so much damage there.
More defensive structures going down from the Wehrmacht player now. He's actually building wire all over the center on his side of the river, so to protect the flanks of the MG, the remaining MG that he still has in his control. So, you know, at the same time, we do have Guderian actually cutting the wire and the tank trap wall on the far left-hand side. You seeing that at the VP and the fuel point there?
I see that. Yeah, you know, that's the thing about this map. Wire and tank traps, yeah, they do get put down everywhere because there are a lot of chokes. You've got this choke here on the left. You've got another choke just to the right on this side of the hedge. You've got more chokes in the center here and down the middle where these trees are. You've got more chokes along the bridge. You know, this is a real sort of, it feels open, but yet it's deceptive. There's a lot of hedgerows. There's a lot of
bottlenecks on the map.
There are, and you know, you really got to watch out for those because that's what's been killing Guderian right now. He's not been able to flank effectively because he's been running straight into those nasty chokes.
I do see that Guderian has the on-map howitzer built in his base now, but I do have some bad news for Guderian right now. Tier 4 is up and an instantly started production of a P4, which is more than halfway done right now. So all of that fuel was spent on that on-map howitzer, and at the same time a medium tank is going to come out for the Wehrmacht player. And I don't see any form of AT. I don't see an AT gun. I don't see anything at all.
Well, it's funny you mention that because stickies have just been reached. Guderian got those presumably as insurance against a Puma, but I doubt he knows what's in store for him in terms of that P4. He definitely doesn't know what's in store for him because he's now getting, at the same time he's getting supply out upgrades and a WSC. So hopefully P4's now popped. Hopefully he hears the engine through the fog of war and cancels that WSC. Otherwise, he's going to be in really bad trouble now, because he needs to cancel what he's building right now. He needs to get himself an AT gun, because those stickies aren't really going to cut it at all.
He can keep it at bay at best. If the P4 is microed nicely, he's not even going to get that sticky off before taking so many casualties, and it's just not going to be worth it manpower-wise just to slow it down for, what, like a few seconds at most, as there are still two remaining Pyos. Anyway. Yeah, so he's not going to be able to kill it. He can't mass sticky it to death. That's not plausible whatsoever, as I guess, you know, his munitions income is not that terrific right now, as I see that the Wehrmacht player actually has a 54 income, which is just insane. But no doctrine chosen yet, and a second P4 is queued up for production in the Panzer Command.
I suspect that if we are now at 17 minutes into the game and there's no sign of anything, yeah, it must be Terror.
Yeah, Terror right-hand side, Firestorm unlocked, with 2.5 CPs in the bank.
That's a good choice, actually. If you do go T4 with Terror, the right-hand side really complements it well. And actually, I imagine that's going to be a doubly effective strategy, because he's not only going to have the T4 tanks, the Panzer IVs and the Oswins with Firestorm, but he's also going to have the V1 when he unlocks it to plop down on that howitzer, because those howitzers, you know, 1v1, it's an extremely cost-effective way of taking it out. And check this out. In the middle, we got sandbags for a Vulcan B40 squad, but there's a mine right there. Imagine a grenade going down on that Vulcan B40.
He didn't actually produce it. He just put it down and just it's, you know, the bar has barely even moved, and the Pio is now actually getting focus fired. So the Pio might actually go down here. He's not retreating that Pio. It's very low health. There goes the retreat, but he gets cut down on retreat by a stray M1 shot from that rifleman squad, and the howitzer nails the P4 at the same time, which is now Vet 1.
Wow. That was a heck of a shell. That was nothing but fire.
It's not over yet, though. The MG takes 2 casualties, and there's a third shot, or a fourth even, decrewing it completely, but the MG is still intact and at least recrewable, and we do have an AT gun out now, so some form of an answer to the P4s, the Tier 4 units from the Wehrmacht player. The secondary P4 is going over to the right-hand side, so this AT gun is gonna have a lot of work to do before being able to polish off one of these tanks.
I think what the strategy Guderian is going for now, because I see he's upgrading bars, he's about halfway done on the bar upgrade. I think his plan really is you know, the theory that if you kill all the infantry, then it doesn't matter if you're out-teched in terms of tanks, which to a certain extent is true, because if you can get very powerful anti-infantry, then it doesn't really matter if there's P4s, because he's going to be forced to back away anyway.
Firestorm in the center on the 2 rifleman squads. The one capping the VP retreats, another one is actually retreating over the river now. Sets off his own mine. That was nice. And I do believe that bridge is indestructible. I think
they made it indestructible. It used to be destructible in 2.1601. I remember when I was really sort of very new player to COH. I remember playing on this map. And I had a King Tiger sitting on the bridge, and my opponent had demoed it.
No!
And yeah. The graphics used to look really weird though for bridge destruction, because it's so high up and it just kind of disappears. Everything on it just kind of disappears, and the bridge just sort of disintegrates. It looked really weird.
Yeah, maybe that's one part of why they made it indestructible. But I think also, you know, it was kind of like...
Destructible bridges are just a recipe for just silliness.
Yeah.
Remember, Relic, when you're making these CO2 maps.
Don't put destructible bridges all over it, so you can't do anything about it. And you know,
Via River Valley wasn't known for being a great map.
No, it was not. At least not in competitive matches. Via River Valley is good fun if you want to screw around against the AI or something with your buddy and play for 4 hours and just build a insane amount of units or something. If you find that funny, then you know the map is okay. But at the same time, you can do that on like nuclear or whatever. That's
whoa! Whole Vulcan B40 goes down here on the right-hand side, capping the VP. Guderian used both on and off-map artillery at the same time to create a distraction for his opponent. Very classic move there, and managed to take out a whole Vulcan B40 squad. So he is beginning to whittle away at the infantry. I think there's only a single Grenadier squad out from. Knight's Crosser on the field.
KCH on the field, capping the middle.
Now things get interesting. Now that we got the
So
KFC
he's replacing the losses of his weaker mainline infantry, namely Volks, with these elite armored troops known as KCH, and they do
against bars and grenades. Though you gotta be be very careful. They need support. They're not Terminators.
No, they need support. They are vet 1, however, so they get a little bit of a passive regen, I believe it's for KCH as well as all Wehrmacht infantry, basically, but they are not Terminators, not even near.
It's an especially good choice, actually, given that Guderian has gotten a sniper out. So, you know, as you see there, he hits the KCH, but because of that heroic armor, doesn't actually get the kill. The point about heroic armor, though, is that it's probably, on balance, not as good as elite armor. In terms of small arms fire, you're better off getting Vet 2 Grens. Vet 2 Grens do tend to be more cost efficient. But on the plus side, it's very good if you're facing snipers, and especially if you're facing lots of snipers.
Yeah, the normal counter to Vet 2 Grens, especially if it's, you know, like Aimstrong plays it, the small tier 1 into Vet 2 Grens, is to go for the snipers, isn't it? That's basically your hard counter to that.
That tends to be it, yeah. I mean,
costs a lot of manpower to reinforce Grenadiers, and even if they're Vet 2, they'll still get sniped 1 by 1. Compared to KCH, which doesn't. Nice grenade to KCH,
nice grenade.
Oh!
Wow, is that all 3 men? All 3 men get away, even after eating a grenade and being literally...
Here comes the Goliath. I love these things. No one ever builds them. The AT gun is in trouble. He actually misses and the bar fire is not enough and it's going to explode and take out the AT gun. That sniper is lucky to be alive.
Wow, that was nasty. Very effective use of the
P4 now. Yeah, now the P4 has no counter yet again, except for soft counter stickies. Guderian does have a Vet 2 rifleman squad with the extended sticky range, so that's good, but as we said before, it's just basically a deterrent. It's not going to be able to kill them outright.
Yeah, I mean, he needs to actually rebuild a whole new...
Look at the snipers! Look at the snipers! He's fishing for a counter snipe. He knows he's there. The Vet 2 rifles might go over there to try and light him up. No, he's gonna throw another sticky on the P4. P4 causes 1 more casualty to that Vet 2 rifleman squad from Guderian, however. Does a little bit of damage, but as we said, it's not enough to kill him outright. And he's gonna go light up that sniper now. He's in trouble, even if the counter snipe misses. This too hard. It doesn't miss, though. It doesn't need to stay around to try and kill him off on retreat with bars or something like that. The counter snipe goes in. Nice victory from Guderian. I think it's really starting to turn around for him now.
Yeah, with the loss of that sniper, and now with his own sniper able to just pluck away at will, and with Vet 2 infantry having just locked in for these grenadiers, they're really going to be feeling the pinch. I think, you know, lots of KCH could still definitely turn this around because, yeah, there's only a single Vet 2 squad. In fact, there's only 2 rifles, period. Guderian's army is still very small, even though it is sort of a good example of combined arms. So he needs this AT gun, which is currently halfway produced. These things are take such a long time.
Takes a full minute, I think.
It takes a very long time.
Roughly a full minute, unless you've gone armor doctrine. And as we see the on-map howitzer and off-maps being used by Guderian, he's obviously gone infantry, so that's not going to be plausible. So it's going to take him forever to build these AT guns. But he really, really needs them. Without TD, he has no counters to the P4. You saw what 2 stickies did to the P4. Not that much.
Not that much, but still means that he can't be very offensive. I mean, neither side can be very offensive at the moment, because neither side has the ability to do that much damage to the other without taking in a lot of damage themselves. These KCH trying to run down the sniper, but wow, these KCH are actually, they're turning their attentions to the rifle squad and really mopping them up. We have some bar suppression fire here.
Not a bad idea at all, and he does actually manage to pin the KCH squad, forcing him to retreat before being forced to retreat to the P4 himself. I think he needs to get maybe Vet 2 for his P4s to get those top gunners against the engineers, and you know,
that's right, yeah. Vet 1 is always useful.
Good, yeah.
If you go back and watch our expert insight we did with Seb, you know, he was very, very much pushing for the idea of just getting Vet 1 on everything because it's the most efficient. You know, Vet 2 on stuff and Vet 3 on stuff can work in certain scenarios, but you're never going to regret getting Vet 1 for something as long as you have a unit to use it on, and boom! Loss of a P4.
That pains me.
Oh well, more munitions.
P4 in the center is still alive and kicking, however, taking out some engineers trying to get the middle VP, because Guderian right now is triple capped down to 156 VPs, so he needs to really focus on the VPs right now. He's been doing a good job whittling down his opponent's army, but at the same time he's not being able to hold the VPs in his favor for long enough to start up productive drain on his opponent, the Wehrmacht player, who is still sitting at 428 VPs, nowhere close losing due to VPs, compared to Guderian being very, very low now, down to 138 right now, because it's triple cap. It goes so quickly. 3 VPs every tick.
Yeah, he's got to get on top of this. I mean, he has now killed enough of the Wehrmacht forces infantry to actually go out and start capping that stuff. But
he's lost his own infantry too.
Yeah, exactly. He's lost his own infantry. He's now getting the second supply upgrade. So maybe he's setting himself up for a bit of an OMCG spam. He's gone down the left-hand side. He's unlocked ranges, and he is currently another 2 CPs away from OMCG. But that's still a long way away. 2 CPs is not insignificant. That's going to mean having to kill another sort of load of infantry or another tank.
Do have an MG produced again. I'm not exactly sure. Might be built to guard like the middle or the left-hand side VP, for example, due to engineers coming out to try and be a little bit nifty and decap or cap a VP of their own, and just place an MG there means that Guderian will have to send a sniper over there, for example, or something else, or use an off-map on the on-map on it to make it move, because he can't really flank with only 1 unit, so to speak. Unless your opponent completely gets caught off guard moving the MG, for example. We do have an AT gun moving up against that P4, rolling down the center. Nice hit on the AT gun itself. Does quite a lot of weapon damage and forces the P4 to actually roll away. I think he could have actually committed to that attack and just circle strafed him, because there's nothing in the vicinity to actually throw a sticky on him or anything.
Well, it's always risky,
There's
isn't
nothing
it?
there.
I wouldn't have done it, because you never know what's going to be behind it.
That would have been better.
Well, you never know what's going to be behind it. I mean, you can even see Guderian's got 1 mine at his base entrance. You know, you could run around and find a rifle squad, and then it's goodbye P4. I think he's going to be playing conservatively with this P4 after losing the original one to being a bit sloppy with it.
Yeah, manpower-wise, the Wehrmacht player is not looking as good as he did before getting that tier 2 building up, where he was floating a tremendous amount of...
Artillery being used as AT here, focusing on the P4, which is not moving. One good
Those
shell
Pios just gotta
mean...
die.
Oh,
there we go! I have some clairvoyance sometimes. I knew that Pio squad was so doomed. Not even funny how much they died there due to that artillery strike from Guderian. And we do have a new Schwimmwagen produced, and actually a half-track from the tier 2 building as well. I'm not exactly sure what he went and built an MG and a Schwimm and a half-track, a little bit of this, a little bit of that.
Grenade into the barn building here on the right did absolutely nothing.
I think the grenade landed behind the building.
Oh, did it? It's not impossible. It has been known to happen.
That was weird. That was very strange. It should have done at least a little bit.
Either that, or those wooden walls are stronger than we think.
Maybe it is. Because that barn building usually doesn't give that much of protection. We do have a V1 use. I can only think it being in the middle.
Must be in the middle. Must be in the middle.
I'm not exactly sure, but...
It must be. There's a big concentration of forces here.
Where is it coming from, though?
This is going to be tasty, I think. Where is it?
I don't know! I don't know! It's not in the center! I didn't see it at all! Where did it go down? I have no clue. I completely and utterly missed that.
What? Whoa, it's in the base!
Oh!
What the hell was up with that sound? That should have landed like 20 seconds ago.
Yeah, I saw him use the ability. It got grayed out on my screen, and it took forever. But yeah, the on-map howitzer was taken out. I was so sure it was going down in the center due to all the, basically all of the forces from Guderian was right there.
How did he get line of sight? How did he get line of sight in the base?
No clue whatsoever. Maybe the Schwimmwagen did a drive-by or something. I don't even know where the Schwimmwagen went. Where is the Schwimmwagen? The Schwimmwagen is dead.
The Schwimmwagen... Oh, it died on a mine... Oh, it was a mine going
so he got
the
line of sight and put it just...
Right.
Oh,
but the sound was still funky, though.
It
should have landed. Like, because normally, like, about 2 seconds after the sound finishes, it drops out the sky. You see it coming over the HQ.
This was a good 5 to 8 seconds before it actually dropped. I was looking in the center, the sound ended. And
I just about caught it. I just about caught it as it landed, but...
no V1 cam for you people at home this one time, but, we've caught quite a lot of V1 cams, so...
We've gotten enough.
Yeah, we got enough of those.
If you go and see that, like, Kiev Wall Korean Army game, there's like 4 of them.
Oh, yeah.
I wonder if they did something in 2.7, like, by accident.
Ghosts nerfed the duration it takes for the V1
I don't know.
to hit.
I mean, maybe it's like a sync error thing.
Walking Stuka actually produced from that half-track. That's
very nice.
Goliath, walking Stukas. We got a V1 in the base on the on-map howitzer. I'm liking this game.
The walking Stuka always kind of makes me giggle. The rockets, as they go up, they always seem so lazy, so fat and lazy. They're sort of, it's like they're in no rush to get into the sky. They're just like, yeah, we'll get there eventually. You know, ugh. It's like a fat man being launched out of a rocket.
Looked like the Allied sniper on the right-hand side just shot his own rifleman squad. I'm not exactly sure. He missed the KCH on the retreat, and the tracer looked like it was actually shooting on his own allied rifleman squad. I was like, what the hell are you doing?
Some form of like that can get you shot.
Ghost traitor?
Court-martialed.
Yeah, most likely. We did actually have a sniper reproduced by the Wehrmacht player, but Guderian now has 2 snipers of his own.
2 snipers, very powerful against but 2 Grens. And, whoa, that's a nice grenade on the KCH, directly on top of them, but it didn't even take out a single man. Oh, no, he does get one of them with the bar fire, so it wasn't totally in vain. Oh, and actually, OMCG's been unlocked now. I think the loss of that Howie, which has been rebuilt now, but I think the loss of the Howie actually gave him the XP required to unlock OMCG, which is now 50 manpower away. So we're going to be seeing
50?
that in
Oh
just
yeah, that's going to be an OMCG.
Seconds away.
There is actually a pack. It's been on the field. That was the first unit out of tier 2 for the Wehrmacht player, but he actually has had no use for it whatsoever because there's basically been nothing to shoot at. We have an on-map howitzer now shooting in the base, which was not a bad idea considering 2 KCH squads and I bet 2 Gren was hanging out there.
Whoa!
He almost takes him out too. You need to run away, little KCH guy. On-map howitzer doesn't care about your elite armor.
Here's the OMCG. We've got an AT gun, a Ranger, a rifle, and an M8.
No Hellcat or M10, nothing like that. An M8 is
nothing
okay.
big. It's not a terrible call-in, but you know when you get an M8 and your opponent's gone for P4s, it's like yeah.
You have assault used on that stolen MG, which misses and throws down into the river, creating
I think he did miss
little
that.
splash.
That was weird.
That was strange. That was funny. Funny things happens on BO lowlands, I guess. These mines are actually proving quite effective now. They've been placed there on the left-hand side center for quite a while now, and it actually gets detonated finally. There's the newly produced MG from the Wehrmacht player laying in the hurt on the Rangers from Guderian. So he must have purchased a squad of Rangers and not really used them that actively before, and then got the OMCG. We do have off-map use on an MG, but an MG is not packing up, not retreating. This might be another annihilation of an MG.
Whoa!
Oh!
Direct hit. 2 direct hits,
I say, boom, baby! Oh, and the P4 goes out as well due to the AT gun from, I think, the OMCG, and the M8 is just trolling around in the base now, and he's actually going to be able to polish off this retreating Vol squad, maybe?
Oh boy, the snipers.
Misses.
The sniper's getting chased. Whoa, my god! A Stuka rocket came out of the sky, homed in on the snipers, and took one of them out.
Oh, takes out the AT gun crew as well. At the same time, we do have counter artillery in the Wehrmacht base, firing all over the Wehrmacht base buildings, and that half-track and that M8 is out for blood. It's not gonna leave now. He didn't manage to polish off the Vet 2 Volt Squad, however, and this half-track is not taking a tremendous amount of damage from the M8 main gun. It takes quite a while to kill a half-track with just an M8 and nothing else. I'm not exactly sure what he's doing. Is he blocking him now? Is he gonna Faust him? I'm not exactly sure. The M8 is damaged, so Faust might be able to polish it off. Here comes the
Faust won't be enough. Faust will damage the engine.
Yeah, but he has 2. He has like a KCH can use Faust too, and he does. There it goes. Main gun destroyed only.
Wow, he's just about gonna save that walking Stuka.
Yeah, well, Stuka's not gonna be able to get killed now with only the top gunner on the M8, and if he gets unlucky on the rear armor from that base bunker, it might actually polish him off completely as well.
Has been known to happen. There it goes.
Oh, it happened. I looked away for a split second and it happened.
Vet2 rifles just trolling around the middle. Someone dropped a bar, and Vet2 rifles, I'm sure, will appreciate a 3rd bar on that squad. It's going to make them very powerful.
15 kills on a light vehicle, most likely a Schwimmwagen, I think, for that rifleman squad. So what do you reckon? Another 7 kills, maybe?
Depends what the vehicle was that he killed.
Schwimm, I think. It's got to be a Schwimm.
No, a mine killed the Schwimm, so I don't know. But
there's 2 Schwimms. He killed a Schwimm with a rifle squad in the beginning.
I don't know. It depends. If it is a Schwimm, it'll be another. He will need to get another sort of 22 kills, I'd say, overall. Infantry, as he has both supply upgrades, so actually he could get them in sort of 4 kills time.
Oh, nice. We did have a forced retreat on a vet 2 triple barred up rifleman squad from the left-hand side VP. The Wehrmacht player is guarding it, and he's actually draining Guderian down to 58 VPs. 2 digits only left for him. It's not that easy to actually reclaim this VP in the center when it's being guarded by KCH and Volt. He is attacking it now with his new sniper, so double snipers again from Guderian, and a flamer engineer is a good counter to the elite armored troopers that soak themselves with gasoline every battle.
Worgenstukas into the middle, but remarkably the engineer there actually survives. But yeah, I mean, this is very, very delicate times now. I sort of get the impression the Wehrmacht player is getting a bit frustrated. He's sending out these KCH 1 squad at a time, getting them killed off. Not very good. He's even sending out this sniper uncloaked here. Finally, he cloaks him. Needs to be careful, though. If he fires again, he could lose his sniper.
Where's the counter snipe? It didn't go in. Ghost doesn't want to take the shot yet. And this is such a bait. It's such a bait. It's not even funny bait. And he gets counter sniped. That was just sloppy play from the Wehrmacht player. Way, way sloppy. I'm not exactly sure. I thought the early game was really solid. The defensive structures, and he cut off the left-hand side with tank traps and barbed wire, and his MG defenses was quite decent, and he really caused a lot of manpower damage to Guderian, and now he's just getting, I don't know, frustrated maybe.
Yeah, it's possible. I mean, when I was playing Aim Strong in the GR tournament number, was it 27, 28? In the finals, in one of the games on Angoville, I ended up just sending out snipers and forgetting to cloak them.
Guderian's getting sloppy with his snipers too, trying to take a shot at possible, and loses them both to one KCH squad. He had plenty of time to retreat them before, and the KCH squad is actually just gonna mosey right into the base. V1 is put down on that on-map howitzer again this time around. Maybe we can get a decent V1 cam. I can hear it coming. I can see it firing too.
Will we have the same weird sound bug? That's the question.
Let's see. I'm looking at the sky. There it comes!
Boom, baby.
He destroyed both the motor pool, the triage, and an on-map howitzer, and at the same time, just seconds after. Oh yeah.
Wow, that OMCG is exactly the same as last time. Ranger, rifle, M8, and AT gun. But hey, last time it worked out pretty well. It wasn't a bad result.
But this time around, we do have a new Tier 4 build unit out for the Wehrmacht player and Ostwind on the field. That's going to be able to handle most things from that call-in, apart from the AT gun and maybe the Rangers. But handling, easier to chase an M8 with a vehicle of your own and trying to Faust him to death like he did last time. We've also forced to retreat. The VP in the center is being reclaimed, but at the same time, he has taken the left-hand side with that Vet 2 Rifleman squad Guderian now, so he's finally stopped the drain, and he's actually drained his opponent down to 348, so roughly 100 VPs since we last checked. But he's down to 51 still, so if he doesn't keep control of the VPs, he could still eventually lose.
Although he does have the Wehrmacht player triple capped, and it's always it's a psychological impact. When you get triple capped, it's very uncomfortable. It's not nice when you see all that red everywhere.
There we go, double KCH squads now fully healed up, and Vet 2 charging into the center, trying to get rid of all of these units from Guderian now, with a lot of focus firing and SMGs on the
double
Rangers.
Oh, point-blank range.
These KCH
nice flamer pop, nice flamer pop.
Ooh, we might get one on retreat down to 1 man, but they are quite healthy. That guy is quite healthy and is going to be able to get away. The pack is found out by the Vet 2 triple barred rifle.
It's all collapsing now for the Vet.
Everything's collapsing. What's happening? What's going on?
He's making these very poor judgments. Sending KCH into the waiting arms of an M8. It's just not going to work out. You need AT.
Oh, I like the predicament from Guderian throwing the grenade at the KCH, but the KCH actually didn't go to the little spot between the hedges, and all it actually gave him was some health damage on his own friendly rifles. He just nailed his own troops, basically. That's what happened. I saw what he thought, what he wanted to do, but it didn't work. It didn't work.
We have...
You know what? 400 manpower in the bank, 5 CPs for the Wehrmacht player, with forced retreat unlocked. There's a potential of a KT on the field. And a KT...
Oh, look at that prop war. Look at that beautiful prop war. This is going to be a dead AT gun.
Did he just misfire? No, he didn't.
No, he did hit it, but he's going to be able to kill out this AT gun.
I didn't see the projectile because the distance was so short.
He needs to back her away around there. He just needs one good hit on that crew member.
Ostwind just needs to reload faster. What are those guys doing?
There we go. And it's another very passive OMCG, but this time it's double AT guns. Is that perfect or what? Even if he did get a KT right now, it still wouldn't be enough to go up against 3 ATGs total.
Off maps on the VP in the center, forcing off KCH squad. That M8 is still there, but the AT gun got decrewed by small arms fire from the KCH's MP44s. And this Ostwind now is trying to kill the newly produced M8, or which he got from the new OMCG Guderian. That's quite a lot of damage.
This Ostwind gives chase, or even if he just sits there.
He's gonna roll into a world of hurt with 2 AT guns setting up. There's one. Nice shot. One more shot might take him out if he doesn't get out of the range. I'm not sure he's out of range. He's not out of range. Loses to Ostwind. At the same time, he is capping the middle VP, though. We do have rifles and rangers from Guderian go there to try and force them off. Before he gets the cap, he only whites the VP, which is in no danger for Guderian. He's still at 51 VPs and ticking. Here's the KT.
KT versus 2 AT guns. Oh, I want to see his M8 lay an M8 mine behind the KT. That would be sweet.
Just block him. That's enough. Just block him.
M8 mine. Come on, M8 mine. Yeah, he's just gonna go for the block. Or maybe mine. Maybe mine. Ah.
Sacrifice yourself for the good of a fatherland or something. I don't know.
The US fatherland.
Yes. Fatherland. I don't know.
I don't know what they called it.
I have no idea what they called it.
Oh,
nice.
Wow.
Bazookas do a tremendous amount of health damage to this KT, and as we've seen in the basically all of the end game from this Wehrmacht player, he's just throwing everything in there.
I mean, say what you like about Ranger bazookas, but they do a real number when they penetrate. Oh wow, this KT is got to be one of the most useless KTs we've ever seen.
Yeah, he just threw it in there with no support. All of the infantry support just came too late. These KCHs now might be able to decrew the AT guns, but that kind of needed to happen before or simultaneously.
Oh, he Stukas himself! He Stukas himself! Good. The KT goes down. We're getting Vet 3 rifles.
Vet 3 rifles. It's just disintegrating these KCH, even on retreat. Kills that squad too. GG's called. Nice game. Crappy map. Whatever.
Oh wow, that was brutal.
That was properly brutal. And I'm seeing on my screen, the dead Pios that was actually salvaging the KT carcass was still holding their welder in their hand, trying to use it.
They died so quickly he didn't even take his finger off the trigger on the welder.
Don't the welders have, like, what's it called, a dead man's grip?
Like a kill switch, yeah, you'd think so. Well, this was the 40s, so, you know.
Maybe not.
Health and safety wasn't around back then.
No, not really. Especially probably not. There's not much health and safety in war, so yeah, that's probably plausible. No dead man's grip or whatever it's called.
I want to see some welder action being used to, like, kill rifles. Or that could be a good thing they could have in CO2, like the weld torture injured troops to gain intel. Actually, there is an ability that's disturbingly like that. Actually,
one of the Jaeger doctrine, I think.
Yeah, the G43s, the interrogation. Yeah, interrogation. Yeah, sure, it's interrogation.
More like, I don't know, assault.
Yeah, you don't need a weapon for interrogation. But,
no, exactly. Exactly. Nice game until it kind of fell apart from the Wehrmacht player. I liked his solid early play. That was solid. Guderian was just throwing himself into a brick wall, dying en masse, basically. All his rifles just suffering casualties all over the place. And that early rifleman squad loss as well really put him behind. So he had a real uphill battle, and he had to fight across the river over and over again. And that's not fun when you have to traverse over negative cover just to get to the front lines.
Yeah, it was a great job coming back from that Guderian, combined with, of course, a few mistakes from the Wehrmacht player. But such is the nature of the game. You start making mistakes, and they can very quickly turn away from you. Yep. So, thanks guys for watching. We will have at least one other VCO cast coming out. We expect the open beta to be out sometime in June. and when that does come out, we'll be casting that from then onwards. But in this little gap between closed beta and open beta, we'll be doing some Vico games from 2.7.
Yep. See you guys.
See you guys.